Welcome back to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. I'm Inquisitor Temperance Price, keeper of the Inquisition's Black Library, and this is the third volume in a report on the Valentyne Heresy, an actual play podcast set in the Genesis adaptation of Warhammer 40,000's Dark Heresy RPG. This report features Game Master Tom McGee and players Tyler Hewitt as Attikus Viz and Ryan LaPlante and Laura Hamstra as special guest characters. My report shows that Attikus is about to undergo emergency surgery. Despite having one arm, Attikus rescued a medic, a second medic appeared and discovered an available power fist, and Scrumbledumpling was overwhelmed by this very bad day. But can two out-of-practice medics carry out a highly dangerous surgery and save Atticus's life? Find out next in this episode of the Valentyne Heresy.
From the personal log of Father Marcellus. Well, you see, the thing about field medicine, and any good soldier will tell you this, is that even in the best of times, it's still the worst of times. I think, Inquisitor, that it speaks well to Atticus's fortitude and willingness to go to any length to serve the Emperor, that he not only survived the battlefield implantation of the arm, but went on to wield it with such might. Cadric, Scrumbledumpling, it's surgery time. You have dragged the unconscious body of our short king Attikus Viz into the machine shop where the local Imperial Guard regiment kind of made their last stand. I really can't, I think we lose this a little bit because we're not physically looking at it all the time, but I really can't stress enough just how many bodies there are with these sort of black veins and rictus screams just everywhere. You just pushed them aside. It's a gruesome post-battlefield scene as you knock aside, chunks of permacrete and other things, making your way into the machine shop. No, this machine shop isn't like a proper Adeptus Mechanicus situation. This is really more of a vehicle bay. It was likely blessed in passing by a tech priest at some point, but there's not a local tech priest who's just like hanging out. This is very much, it's large, but it's more like an oil change garage, like a Speedy Lube or a Midas, but for large treaded vehicles. So large bay, large lifts. You can see a kind of armored car situation that's been hoisted up on one, and there's clearly some work that was being done under it before all of this happened. But it's got enough mechanical doodads that you're confident you can install the power fist. That Cadric, you were good enough to use your newfound axe to hack off the body of a commissar in order to prepare. So, in terms of this actual surgery, you've got Attikus. Attikus is a strong boy, but you've got two issues. One, you need to kind of figure out how you're going to get him set up, like what tools you want and need for this. But two, despite having hacked the arm off of the corpse, it's still got like some shoulder and flesh and muscle attached to it. So like, I also need to know how you're going to clean this arm to get it. Get that annoying organic shit out in order to install it.
Dude, it's like, it's a machine shop. There's got to be some sort of like acid like stripping thing that will strip the fleshy bits, but not the metal bits. So
okay, so Cadric, you're going to look for quote some kind of acid thing that will strip the fleshy bits, but not the arm.
You know how you just like dunk shit in CLR for like 5 minutes and then you pull it out?
Severed arms,
according to the commercials. It's gonna work in this
yeah, and though. It will also clean your bathroom and your faucets. So
yeah,
like,
so she's looking for 40 KLR. It's very popular.
Yeah, but it's
KLR.
It's sold by Citadel Paints, so it's like 8 times the price, and it comes in a tiny little pot, so you need several of them.
It's got a rounded lid, so it dries out really fucking fast.
Yeah, but you can use it as a pallet, said literally no one but a marketing genius somewhere. Okay, great. So, Cadric, you were looking for 40 KLR.
40 KLF. The F is for flesh.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna forget it though, so
It's
just
fine.
remind me, I guess.
It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it's pretty canonical now, so it shows up in all the Eisenhorn books. We got to pay homage to the canon. Scrumbledumpling, that leaves you on prepping the space. What do you think Scrumbledumpling's prime concerns are about this particular surgery?
Scrumbledumpling would have two primary concerns. One is getting Attikus onto a fucking table where they can do this at a reasonable height so that they can see what's going on. That needs to be sterile, which this does not sound like a terribly sterile place. And two, this shoulder has been cauterized, which is terrible for trying to deal with any sort of exposed nerve endings that have been put in place. So he also needs to get into that. I guess. So it's like clean table is step one. He needs to deal with the shoulder, but he also needs Attikus to probably stay asleep, because if he wakes up and starts screaming and moving, that feels like it's terrible. So sterile environment, anesthesia, then he'll try to make sure the surgery isn't a disaster. But steps 1 and step 2 seem priority.
Yeah,
You're going to have to make him huff 40 KLR.
It's up to you. It's your plan. It's your party. Although that does mean I won't get to make my "Have you heard there's a rumor in
Actually,
St.
it's
Petersburg"
perfect.
joke about anesthesia, but that's fine.
The L is for lidocaine. Got it. Done.
There we go.
Okay.
Great. We did it. Everyone got what they wanted. Okay, so Scrumbledumpling, I think for you, we're gonna probably start with. I think it's like you pretty much gotta. You're trying to clean this table down, like you're trying to sterilize a table. I would take that as Medicaid. I think. I
think when you combine Scrumbledumpling's own voxcoder implant and how that would have to be dealt with, like, yeah, he's got a little Mechanicus knowledge, but yeah, the Medicaid version of like, what can I use to clean off a table that's available in this space that won't like poison me?
Totally. And also the nice thing about being in the Imperial Guard is I feel like you're also probably taught a lot of field medicine, because the odds of you actually having any kind of real hospital to work in, very slim, as opposed to Cadric.
Scrumbledumpling replaced 2 other medics who both died, and they were teaching the previous person on the job. So it's like a photocopy of a photocopy of a medic.
Amazing. Okay, very good. But I do also absolutely buy the having to keep your voxcoder clean thing is actually like weirdly
taught him more than anything else.
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly helpful for this. So, okay, so we're going to call this a Medicaid. I'm going to say difficulty 3. This is a dirty space. It's not meant to be sterile, and because it's a machine shop. I mean, the good news is that there's probably not a lot of like biological contaminants aside from the corpses outside. But the bad news is there's probably a lot of like chemical contaminants. So that's fine. So difficulty of 3. I'm going to give you a boost for the voxcoder argument. I think that's great. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'll give you another boost.
Is this just Scrumbledumpling, or am I?
Yes,
going
we'll get to Cadric's role in a
Gotcha.
second.
Because you're doing your search separately.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think we'll say 1 boost for honestly just like a well-equipped space. I think the odds of you being able to find something you could use to sterilize a table is actually pretty high in a well-stocked garage. I'm going to give you a setback for just overall stress. There's a lot going on. The battle is still raging outside. It won't be too long before the rebels find you. So best to deal with this quickly. That's honestly it for me, though. I think I don't think there's anything else I want to add or subtract to that.
No, that sounds good to me.
Now, as I recall,
I would give you another boost because you have another medic to confer with if you have any problems.
Yeah, all right, I'll buy that.
The classic "do you concur" kind of doctor talk.
Look, having built an entire character off of DiCaprio in that film, I gotta let you have this. It's the Nero Abagnale bonus.
Yay!
That goes to you.
The GM concurs.
Yeah. So we're sitting at, I believe, 1 and 3 in my favor.
Yeah, I'm not burning it on sterilizing a table. We
No,
good.
I'm gonna burn 1 to try and
1 and
balance
3,
out our
that's nice.
pool.
I had 0 and 4.
I mean, yeah. Well, again, Laura, as I said, I've got like the worst filing system for this, where I just circle in square things because I write them down as I hear them, but they're in no particular. So I do have a 4 in a box. So since you've confirmed the 4 in a box, congratulations. Now it's
Sorry.
4. No, it's good. Now it's 1 and 3. That's 1 and 3. Look, you're coming up in the world. Hey,
you did it.
Now you're where I thought you were. And I'm going to cross out this 4 in a box so that I know better than to be fooled again. The who warned me, and I just did not listen. Okay, so 1 and 3 in my favor, and I think I'm going to say that story point is literally just for like things like 40k LR that are just around, that might be on the table, might be around. You know, there's just those permanent oil slicks and things. It's very concerning. All right, go ahead, Scrumbledumpling.
4 advantages, 1 failure.
Okay. I think you don't find anything that will let you do a mass sterilization. It's a lot of like, you know, you might find a few wet wipes, but there's certainly not enough to get the whole table. So we'll say that you fail to sterilize the table. You just have to kind of accept that this is a gross table and there may be complications as a result. But with 4 advantage, you get the thing set up. Like, it's set up perfectly, and you'll be able to throw that forward onto kind of your next steps in the surgery.
Great.
But it won't be sterile.
Well, the infection isn't going to kill him today, so that's fine.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably kill him, in a couple of weeks. And we don't know what happens to him in the future, so that's entirely possible. Like, this could get him, This could get him.
The slowest growing infection ever.
Yeah, we get to the end, and you, like, punch Horace in the face, and Valentine's like, well, we won. And Attikus is like, sorry, sir. I've got gangrene.
I have sepsis. And he just goes down.
Yeah. So spoilers, I guess, for season 6. Okay.
Jesus.
Cadric.
Attikus
go ahead.
versus, what is it, MRSA? That like hospital thing that takes people out?
No. It's awful.
Yeah, and then we just do a whole season that's just Osmosis Jones, but for some reason it's like Valentyne and, I don't know, fucking Marnie or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
the Emperor's in his blood.
This is Red Cell. All right,
the magic school Valkyrie flies them into his bloodstream to save him.
Oh man, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like Miss Frizzle decked out in Aquila. There's something there.
Yeah,
Sister Frizzle.
Frizzle.
Sister Frizzle.
And the Adeptus Bloodstardies.
Come on, Ralph. We have to burn the heretics. No, I don't wanna.
They were created by Raymond Bloodstardies.
Please let this be a normal Inquisition. With the Frizz? No way.
Inquisition school bus? Fuck, that is very funny. Okay, so Cadric, I need you, please. Yeah. You are going to be trying to find that good old-fashioned 40k LR. So go ahead with, I think this is going to be a perception more than anything else, because this is you tossing a messy machine
it's
shop.
It's too green.
Us.
If it ain't too green, it's too green. That's all we get. We dumb guardsmen.
You do have
40k LF.
one possible story point. I'm going to say this is only difficulty 2. The odds of this being here, I think, are pretty high. The real difficulty is just finding it in time. And then I'm going to give you a setback because you were consulting with Scrumbledumpling, so your attention wasn't fully on the task at hand.
But he was consulting with me.
Well, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was. But do you mean to tell me that for some reason having a doctor you can ask, but like, doctor, where would you hide 40 KLR in your giant garage? He doesn't know shit about that. He's
no, but he knows about 40 KLF.
Wait, Tom. So I had 4 advantage. What if we trade 2 of them to give 1 advantage to my friend here on this roll, and we'll carry the other advantage forward to the surgery? Okay. It won't remove a setback, but it'll just add a bonus.
I understand. I'll buy that. So Scrumbledumpling manages, through a miraculous feat of being able to think about 2 things at once, to just suggest various cupboards it could be in. All right.
It helps. I'm terrible at my job.
So what does that advantage give me? A boost?
Yeah. So currently you got 1 boost, 1 setback. I'm going to give you another boost just for this being a well-stocked garage. Cool. So I think the odds are pretty good that it exists. And then similar to Scrumbledumpling, just a setback for the stress of being in an active war zone.
I'm not stressed. All right, I'm just going to roll.
Not going to spend any story points on this one. So
cool.
There you go.
I'm not either. 1 success, 5 advantages.
Oh, hell yeah. You find every tiny pot of it in here. You've got more than enough. You quickly dump them in a barrel, Breaking Bad style, and just like dip the arm in. It's like the world's grisliest like cotton candy on a stick. Just kind of swirl it around a little bit, shake off the
it
flesh.
turns the liquid turns like red and brown and like gloopy.
Yeah,
great.
100%. Just a big old gloopy barrel that will be someone else's problem to clean up later. But now you have a shiny, clean chrome arm to install. So you come to join Scrumbledumpling, and the two of you have Attikus up on the table. Laura, you also have a fuck ton of advantage kicking around. So
Correct.
there's a variety of ways you can spend that. But with 5, I feel like you can bank it and pretty much declare where you want it to live.
Look, with 3, I can force a target to drop a melee or ranged weapon.
Yes.
There's no one in here. I know. That's just stupid. I'm just being stupid.
You were having so much fun and then just attacked yourself for having fun right after. Why are you coming down so hard on you?
I don't know.
All right,
Because
Laura.
I find that so funny. No one else does. Every single time.
I'm gonna try and sell you on that. I think
been
that
doing
actually
this
makes
too
sense.
long.
I would give you that for making. You can't make anyone drop anything because there's no one here to make anything drop. But we could maybe convert that into the equivalent of anesthetic, which is just like you're getting Attikus to like. You're basically like distracting Attikus enough to get the job done.
You're disarming him from the weapon that is consciousness.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you have another pitch that you want.
I mean, I know I can use 2 advance. Yeah.
I have another pitch that's solely based on a pun, but I will pitch it.
Do it.
We have said that this shoulder is a bit of a mess because it's been cauterized and we know we need to attach to it. So one could say that Attikus has been imperfectly disarmed. So perhaps she could perfectly disarm him and just clean up that wound for that many advantage.
A clean cut.
I mean, look, there are many ways to my heart, but that might be the widest highway. Yeah, dude, sure, great. I'll buy that.
So you fully disarm Attikus.
You come over, Cadric, and you notice Scrumbledumpling like trying to figure out how to get past this weird like battlefield cauterization. And I think like without a second thought, you just grab a rag, dip it in the pink mush, and just give it a quick wipe down, just a quick polish of the wound. It is excruciatingly painful. And Attikus, I think I'm going to roll to see if you wake up screaming as this happens, and then we'll figure out how to knock him back out again.
Cadric Kensworth here. All it takes is one wipe and the cauterization is gone.
Yeah. Revealing the wound's freshest layer.
That's where you want to start when you're
peak
going to
freshness.
jam an arm in there. KL arm. 40 KL arm. It's good for you. It's bad for him.
Tyler, let's get a check against this. This is going to be I was going to say survival, but that's actually a cunning based skill, so I don't care for that. Let's go with resilience. So it's brawn and resilience against the horrific pain of having 40 KLR rubbed into your wound.
Wait, you said Cadric. Are we talking Attikus? Just for my brain?
I'm talking Attikus. I
Great.
am. Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna say difficulty 3. I don't have any boosts or setbacks for this. I am gonna spend a story point though, because this is
Sure, buddy.
Yeah, this is a lot of pain. A lot of pain for a sweet boy.
Yeah.
Knowing that this is being done, I think Scrumbledumpling would be helping hold Attikus in place. I don't know if that would help with any of the die rolls, but it would be
sure,
a
I'll give it
factor.
a boost.
Great.
A boost? Okay. All right. 1 brawn, 1 boost. Here we go, baby. Wow. 1 success, 2 threats.
Okay, so
Sweet.
you stay under. in the sweet, blissful embrace of not being awake for this. But in terms of the threats, I think we'll say you're thrashing around a little bit. So it'll make the surgery a little bit more difficult, but at least you're not like.
I punched the last guy who tried to help me. Yeah.
That is true. Yep.
Yeah.
Which will be a much more dangerous thing to have happen in about a couple minutes.
Yeah, as we've seen before. Okay, amazing. The time has come. Cadric, Scrumbledumpling. Who is doing what?
Scrumbledumpling is clearly holding this guy down. He is not equipped with his medical understanding of the thing in my throat I can prevent from killing me, but it still doesn't work. I don't think he wants to take over the application of the arm.
Also,
right,
like Cadric approaches the table like flipping a scalpel. So.
Yep. So Scrumbledumpling is concurring but not taking part in the surgery.
I understand. Yeah. You're a consulting physician. Like fucking Hugh Laurie. House. That's the name. House. I was like, Sherlock Holmes? I was like, no, that's not it. But it kind of is.
Like Hugh Laurie. Just Hugh Laurie.
Dr.
In his
Laurie.
downtime.
I was saying Hugh Laurie if he was in a surgery room.
Yeah.
He'll help, but he doesn't know what he's doing.
Honestly, he just sits there muttering like, lupus? But in his actual British accent.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cadric, you're going to be the one doing the main rolling here since you're actually performing the surgery. It's going to be a Medicaid check. I'm going to say it's a difficulty of 4. This is a hard surgery to have to do. You get we're going to say 2 boosts from Scrumbledumpling. Doing his thing. And having Dr. Hugh Laurie in the room is always very helpful. You get a boost for cleaning the arm, so it's a much easier install. You get a setback from the dirty table. You're a little bit taken aback at how dirty this table is. It's like Scrumbledumpling didn't even try. And then our standard 1 setback for all the shit that's going on outside, and 1 final setback for Attikus thrashing around a little bit.
You know that it succeeds, right?
Can I
Eventually.
Okay, ignoring the obvious antagonism of you during a key roll, which is a classic Laura trait that is gone so well for us every time. No regrets.
Classic Laura Tom dynamic.
I'm sorry,
at play
it's
here.
because I get scared and I don't know what to do with my emotions.
It takes 2 is all I'll say.
All I will say is, for Atticus's sake, take them out on me. Like, just target Ryan as a person. It will help our whole team so much more.
Un-Attikus Fist joined the party. I didn't say it was this Attikus Fist.
Yeah.
This arm goes on a journey. A lot of hosts until we get to a guy who sounds very similar to this soon-to-be dead bloke.
Yeah, also, we don't know if this is his final arm. This is just an arm he could get.
Yeah.
By the end, he's just Jax from Mortal Kombat. He has 2 robot arms for some reason. It's just never referenced again.
So, Tom, I had an advantage to carry forward with Scrumbledumpling. Can I use this here to add to this roll? Great.
Yep.
So, throw another boost down there.
And we have a story point.
You have 2.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I am 100% going to use one of those.
Great.
Excellent choice.
I wasn't going to use one, but I've been so antagonized. No, I'm kidding. This time.
I would understand.
All right. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, Cadric.
Let's do it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. 3 advantages, 2 failures.
Scrumbledumpling has a new arm.
Yeah, so
Scrumbledumpling back and forth at Attikus and Scrumbledumpling. Wait,
you're
what?
holding
what?
You're holding Attikus down as he kind of flails. You can hear kind of like the sound of the scalpel like shearing flesh away and like a drill going as Cadric is like, surgically attaching it to his rib cage, like I guess upper rib cage and like shoulder bone and collarbone. That's the one. Shoulder bone. It's the old shoulder bone. It's that one that runs all the way across like your body's a human hanger. So you're drilling in, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, your back is so wet, just like alarmingly wet. And Scrumbledumpling, as you turn, you see that a stray shot has blown open Cadric's head all over the back of you. So not only is is he dead. But now this surgery is in your not so capable hands.
Yay! R.I.P. Cadric.
R.I.P. Cadric.
Hemsworth.
You are too beautiful for this world.
Failure to apply this arm resulted in a butterfly effect of someone shooting you in the head.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, success might have also resulted in that. It's Imperial Guard, baby.
Scrumbledumpling just looks down at Attikus and over at Cadric and back to Attikus and just goes like, all right, it's up to you, Scrumbledumpling. Fuck, I can't say my own name. And then with that, it's like, this is not an omen. He's ready to get to work.
All right, let's do it. So it's a Medicaid check.
Great.
I'm using
that story point right now. I'll say that right up front. There's no question.
Okay, sure. I'm going to say difficulty of 2. Cadric got a significant amount of work done before meeting the Emperor on the fast train to hell. So you've got that. I think I'm going to give you a setback for just being soaked in blood. It makes
sense.
using all the tools hard. And another setback because you're no longer holding Attikus down.
Mm-hmm.
Attikus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you the option to wake up and try and help, but it will come at a permanent cost to your HP for this adventure. I just think there's something metal as hell about Attikus, like an action movie when someone's like digging bullets out of themselves, then just like cauterizing it with a cigar. I feel like that there's something poetic in Attikus being the attending nurse to his own
All right.
armification.
All right. Yeah, sure. If you're feeling it, I'm feeling it. Let's do it.
Attikus, you hear Scrumbledumpling's cries of this is not an omen through the mists of your unconsciousness, and you gradually drift awake, and you see the wide-eyed doctor getting ready to try and go to work on this. What do you say to bolster his spirits? Like, what's Atticus's response to all this?
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck me.
Hey, buddy.
Is that a fucking power fist?
Scrumbledumpling just nods. He doesn't have to say anything to that.
Right, well, carry on then. I'm definitely in shock right now, so yeah, I'd say you've got about 2 or 3 more minutes before I either pass back out, or all feeling returns to my stump and I go mad with pain.
I hate deadlines.
All right.
Stop pressuring me.
Scrumbledumpling, you can add 1 green to your roll for the assistance of Attikus Viss.
Cool. And knowing that I have used my vox coder, so I have familiarity with like mechanic flesh links, would that also apply here?
Yep, I'd give you an extra boost for that.
Alrighty, let's see what
it's a good thing we don't use actual dice for this anymore. I don't think we could afford the amount of Genesis dice for like boost and setback we use.
Hell no.
3 successes, 1 advantage, 1 triumph.
Wow.
Fuck yes. Yes.
So this is the arm. And this is the Attikus.
Just
good
wasn't the medic.
Medicus Viss, the guy we've been with the whole time. We just retcon the rest of the series. So Scrumbledumpling finally getting to put to good use the incredibly specific knowledge that having a vox coder badly installed in your throat has given you. You're able to finish Cadric's work, and you quickly install the arm. I think as Attikus, you start to kind of like get up from the table. You flex the arm for the first time, and you really like feel the servos go. You do that thing that people with robot limbs always do, where you like roll your fingers for the first time. And as you look around, you're able to pretty quickly find like, a small first aid cabinet, roughly where you would imagine it would be, and just like a bunch of painkillers. I think very much like in a kind of like Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood kind of way, where it's just like temporary pills, great. Unfortunately, by having woken up to assist with your own surgery, I'm going to drop your overall wound count. You're at 12, I believe.
My threshold is 12.
12, great. We're going to drop that to 10.
Okay.
But the painkillers are enough to blind you to the pain of this installation for long enough to get the job done. Scrumbledumpling, you've successfully done this surgery. What do you say or do in this moment of triumph for you?
Scrumbledumpling is just standing there covered in blood, just chain smoking. Like, it's just, this is a fucked up day. It's continued to be a fucked up day. Scrumbledump was having a fucked up day. Like, this is the moment where I think he's also realizing immediately after this surgery that this means like, oh, we did this part. Time to run back out into the war zone.
Yeah.
Why is surgery so fast?
Attikus will say, you've done right by me here, and I'm going to do my best to do right by you out there. I would like to use my power fist to wrench the door off of an armored vehicle in this garage and fashion my first riot shield.
Oh, hell yeah. I will just let you do that. I don't see any reason to stop that. I know better than to roll against the power fist.
What kind of stats am I working with now that I've got power fist? Am I still using
Tyler, I'm
the
glad
ones you
you
provided
asked.
me? Or
You can just go ahead and grab your Attikus character sheet, and
all right,
we can roll with that.
we'll flip over to that. Okay, wow. What an
But
improvement
remember, you
an
lost
arm makes.
2 health.
Yep. That triumph was fucking big.
Yeah. You did a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just past the video game tutorial where they're actually giving you full access to your powers again. After the
But your
bag-
NPC sidekick still blows. So
Yeah.
Scrumbledumpling, who had left his weapons outside, will take Cadric's last gun and last pistol so that he is armed once again, along with his med kit.
Okay, amazing. So Attikus, you sling on a shield. Arm's feeling good. It's responding not perfectly. It'll need to be like tuned up, but it's well enough for what you need.
Yep.
Scrumbledumpling, you get a blood-soaked las rifle off of, or las gun, I guess, off of Cadric. I assume you just leave the axe.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't know what the fuck to do with that. No way. There's a
Right.
bayonet on here. That's what it's supposed to be for. I don't know what this guy was thinking.
Amazing. So the two of you quickly make your way to the edge of the machine shop. Out of the like sort of peeking around the edge, you can see again there's that sort of you're in that little like quad area. There's like a fountain that's been shattered. It's spraying water in all directions, kind of in the center of the space. Beyond it, you can hear fire, the roar of Pratik's chainswords, and you can see the governor's mansion in the distance. And it's close, but like you got to get past a couple buildings and a barricade before you can like make your way in. The good news is now you've got like a pretty good fucking way through a barricade, but you're kind of like waiting for your moment when another trooper rushes up beside you. It's the classic Call of Duty. All of the non-player characters are just like an endless, cycle of faceless private Stevens, and then he just gets blown up. It's like another guy runs in immediately, stands exactly where he was to continue the cinematic. It's that kind of situation where suddenly a new face rushes up to join you. Laura, who joins Scrumbledumpling and Attikus for their push towards the mansion?
Carcer Baldane, who is a pilot / driver. He just looks exactly like Don Cheadle. We're just gonna
Okay,
that's
yep,
it.
Great, love it.
Don Cheadle in like a crew neck and jeans, like just like Don Cheadle. Like okay.
Like interview Don Cheadle, where he always seems like a little tired but very thoughtful.
Unlike like a snazzy Don Cheadle, like well put together, like in House of Lies.
Oh, okay. See,
okay.
I was thinking of Basher from
Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was
we all
like,
have.
how British is he? That's the real
That's
question.
it, yeah.
Well, I guess we're
God.
gonna find out.
We've all got
You
our
don't
own
tell
brand
us,
of
it'll be a
Cheadle that
surprise.
we're playing with here.
Oh, if you want me to do a bad British accent,
Hey,
oh baby.
That's what he did.
Carcer
It's
is
entirely up to
your
you.
character. He lives and exists as he always has in the 40K universe. So
Welcome, trooper.
He runs up, so it's like with a shotgun. What do you call it when you shotgun? When you
cock
Cock the shotgun.
cock it. Yeah. So he cocks the shotgun and just like, hey, come with me if you don't want to die in the next explosion. And
That's such a good slaughter of that line. Like it's so specific, but also just an excellent spin on it. I love it.
All right, Scrumbledumpling's cool to go with this guy.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
so Carcer wants to. I mean, did we come down with any vehicles?
We're in a giant garage. We just tore a door off one of them.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So we're going to take that fucking vehicle, which for some reason, according to our Patreon character, there's 38 Crystal Goblin figurines on the dash.
Wait, are those in the vehicle, or does Carcer bring them with him to set
I
up
think
on
this
the
is
Them
out,
dash?
out
Ryan. Yeah,
one by
clearly.
one.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We have time to get in on the other side and like find the keys because you're just slapping down
Yeah.
goblin figurines,
Yeah,
which are
Yeah, I
also
fucking-
extremely heretical.
Just like
fucking love it,
Thaddeus, you know, like he's got to set up the room before he can do any medicine. You got to set up the car. So that actually does track. Carcer, as you jump into the front seat and begin to meticulously place, you know, all your appropriate hood ornaments. Scrumbledumpling and Attikus, it falls to you to bring the car down off the jack and to reattach the wheels that were off the vehicle. So who's
We should attach the wheels first.
I was gonna do the exact same joke. Like, right, let's do that, but in the other way.
all right, great. So can I please get I think we're gonna go with tech use. And yeah, we'll get it from who's going to be like operating the jack and or basically who's taking lead, who's going to help.
I was going to say, what if each of us does 2 of the 4 wheels?
Sure. Yep. All right. I'm into that. So two separate roles for 2 of the 4 wheels. As Carcer very helpfully sets up a like
Carson, the person who has the actual skill set for this.
Yeah.
is the
That's
one.
why. That's why I have to indulge him.
I imagine him setting them up. Like he has a specific way that he sets them up because there's like a storyline, right? There's a narrative quality to like what these crystal.
What story is being
figures-
told?
It's the story of how they all got captured by Carcer Baldane and are living out this hellish life, fighting for the Emperor.
all right. Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying Carcer
Good save.
Baldane's
'cause it would've been
somewhere
pretty heretical.
Yeah.
he has 38 goblin captives that he is. So he's run a penal legion of goblins at some point.
Or
I
are the
mean, of
Crystal
Crystal
Goblins the
Goblin
ones?
figurines, yeah.
It's a flight of fancy. It's not.
Yes.
Uh,
Not
see,
literal
I
goblins.
was trying
It's
to
not
figure
a
out if that was a literal
nonfiction.
story.
No.
Tale.
This is just like, this is what battle has done to him over time.
That's
I
what
like
it takes for him to get psyched up.
Yeah, I like this version a lot more because it's the equivalent of like getting a bunch of like I used to introduce my action figures to each other when I got like a new toy as a kid. I'd like make them
Yeah.
shake hands and say hello.
Yeah,
I like the idea that
totally.
it's just like that, but for like those are like Royal Dalton figurines, and it's just like okay, well, sorry lads, we're going in. It's like oh, little flute boy's real sad. But Milkmaid is all about war, so this is going to turn out great.
Canonically, Little Flute Boy and Milkmaid are now 2 of the goblin figures on the dash.
Yes.
Well, I know who's dying first to elicit sympathy from the listeners. Okay, so Scrumbledumpling and Attikus, I'm going to need tech use, please, from both y'all.
Great. What's the
that
difficulty?
I'm going to say difficulty 2. The vehicle's up on a lift. No. Oh, well, wait. Would either of you have ever changed a tire?
I
don't
feel
think-
like Scrumbledumpling has done all the shittiest jobs.
Yeah. Attikus, probably not.
No,
Okay.
probably not.
So, Attikus, your difficulty is going to be 2. Scrumbledumpling, your difficulty is going to be 1.
Cool. Knowing that we're in a garage with theoretically all the right tools, would that add a boost?
Yep, boost for each of you. I'm not going to give you the setback for being under attack because I think being around an armored car kind of lowers
There's
that
a confidence boost, yeah.
Yeah. Also, just like it's a giant piece of cover aside from the one door that's missing. And you know what? I'm going to give you each a boost for kind of like Carcer, despite this ridiculous goblin scenario, really does kind of seem to have his shit together. And I feel like having someone bust in and be like, I've got a plan, don't worry about it, we're going to do this thing, is like kind of comforting. It's nice. This feels like momentum. Attikus isn't dying anymore. Scrumbledumpling succeeded in surgery and has a gun now. Like, you know, everything's coming up Millhouse. So that's that. I'm not going to spend a story point because that seems very silly, which means there is one story point available between the two of you if you want it.
I'm not going to spend it.
I want this to work, and I have low intellect, so I will spend it.
Great.
Because if we do all of this and we end up walking out of here, I'm going to be very disappointed in us. We do all this work. Could take a lot of time to pull all 30 of those off the dash.
38, sir.
Excuse me.
Get all the blue tack that he used to stick him down. He's got to get all that back together, make a ball. Like,
okay, I'm ready to roll.
Quite as good.
Let's do this.
Use.
I have 1 success and 4 advantage.
Okay.
1 success, 2 advantage.
Hey.
Look at you guys getting tires on.
Nice work.
All right, so we can say you said 1 advantage, Tyler?
2 advantage.
2 advantage. Okay, so that's 1 free boost going forward. Scrumbledumpling, you had
4 advantage.
4. So you can pick who gets the boost. My guess would be the person driving the car might be your choice, but
it is. It is. He not only does Scrumbledumpling get the wheels on in time, Scrumbledumpling takes a second to check the alignment and make sure they're good for the driver on both sides.
Yeah, you don't want a lopsided armored car. That's a real
way.
Getting the Mr. Lube treatment here.
Yep,
this thing pulls to the left, we could all die.
He insists Carcer drives around for 80 kilometers and then comes back and tightens
right.
them.
Yeah, for some reason, he's also insisting on a filter change. You don't think you really need it, but like maybe you do. I don't know.
Yep. You get rust protection. You're going to need it. It's getting cold out.
You do not want to know what
winter
salt
season
is going to do to the bottom of this Rhinox. It wears them out so much faster. This isn't a temperate climate. There's a heresy here. It really it takes a toll on armored vehicles like you wouldn't believe.
Just sprays the pink guck from the 40K LR on the bottom to rust-proof it. Like you got to weatherproof the bottom of the car.
If you're going to try to ram this through a military barricade, you're going to need premium oil.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying this for me. I'm saying this for you.
Well, look, if you want a second opinion, you can go ask anyone. But like, then you have to go there, come back. I'm just saying, if you just do it now.
I'm saying it because I don't want to see you again till next year. I don't want you coming back here sooner than that.
And I don't want you having an accident on your way to your second opinion. It's a war zone out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want to have your life cut short wondering what if. What if I got the rust protection?
Camera pans down to Cadrick's body.
Yeah.
Pans back up.
Listen, let the Emperor take your wheel, but don't let the Emperor pump your brakes. That's a you job. We got to make sure you can do that.
Yeah.
Well, having received...
This is what Carcer is hearing from the goblins. Just on the dash, they all have their own mechanic personalities.
Yeah, then just like... Flip boy, and then like...
The last one's like,
Milk made in like
milk.
36 mechanics.
Let's go to war. I love milk.
Yeah.
All right, so...
You can't fight a war if you're thirsty.
Having dealt with strong bones, having dealt with your army of goblin mechanics, the Rhinox is down. It's ready to rock and roll. Y'all hop in, load up, and Carcer, you're about to put the pedal to the metal. Do you have a cool line you say before you hit the gas?
Hold on.
All right. Laura, from you, I'm going to need, this is going to shock you, a driving check.
Oh my god.
Take a free old boost from your aligned tires.
Hey, yeah.
Killing
Yep,
it.
definitely on that. I'm going to say difficulty of 3 just because there's a lot of shit to maneuver around, and it's not a small vehicle. I'm going to spend a story point to upgrade just so that you have story points again in future.
Okay.
He's doing it for us.
I am. Yeah, I did it for you. Carcer, I'm also going to give you an additional boost for the fact that you don't need to worry about collateral damage. This is a real nice thing for you to not need to care about this time because, like, there's nothing here to ruin.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna throw. Anyone want to make a case for anything else?
I could use something else.
Okay.
I think to get it out of the garage, Scrumbledumpling would stay outside of the car to like open the door and do that thing where like somebody can't quite see out the truck to like say which way to angle it on the way back. So he's at risk, but it'll help the truck get out of the space.
Okay, I dig that. So taking on the boost for Scrumbledumpling being like a weird airline runway mechanic.
Can I argue for one more?
I suppose.
I mean, make the argument.
Like, we
This
got time, sure.
That this time, Carcer had the time to set up all of his goblin figurines in exactly the way he wanted to.
Look,
And he doesn't always get that.
I told you there were many roads to my heart, and the pun was the highway. This is like a side road, but it's still very effective during high traffic hours. So, yes, the anthropomorphized army of tchotchkes is definitely worth one boost.
He took Airport Road to his heart.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Some local Southern Ontario humor for you folks.
Somewhere Cataletwin's like, yes, finally.
Sometimes you can't take the 400. Sometimes you got to take the 410. You know, like this is just who we are as a
I mean, I was going to make a collector's joke, so we've all got our own version of it, and that's great.
God.
Okay.
Can I roll?
Yeah, you sure can.
Oh no! 4 advantages, 1 despair.
All right. So you floor it.
So hard.
Scrumbledumpling kind of like it helps you kind of like you have to like you floor it, then you immediately have to hit the brake and like take your foot off the accelerator as you like scooch out. Like it's a real like moment, and then just an awkward Austin Powers worth of scooching the car around. But you manage to get it out. Scrumbledumpling, you hop in, and Carcer, you floor it. And for a hot second, you know, like the car like leaps over the broken fountain, like splash of water, you know, washes stuff away. You tear around the corner onto the main drag, and around you, you hear a cry go up from the glorious Regals who are fighting forward, just to see something like plowing ahead. And Carcer, for like a hot second, like this might be the best drive you've ever had. All the mechanics agree, although they're a little bit concerned, you know, like winter might happen sometime, so you're probably going to want to switch those new tires in. And they've got some concerns about that rattling sound. But overall, you're feeling pretty great. The car shoots forward towards the barricade, and you know, you manage a shoulder check just out of habit, which is just enough to see the barrel of another Lehman Russ tank opens fire, tearing your small armored car apart as the cannon shot flies through the missing door and blows it to shreds. From the Journal of Father Marcellus. You see, Inquisitor, when all seemed lost on that day, I myself was bogged down in fighting rebels, screaming hymns from the top of my lungs, watching brave servants of the Emperor fall, one side or the other. I heard a sound, a rumble, and I looked to see a brilliant fireball in the distance, and I thought perhaps it was the Emperor's way of telling us everything would be all right. Turns out it was. Though several perished in the blast, one did not. And that one turned the tide of the battle and brought us sweet victory that day. I would later learn that that man, that short king, was Attikus Viss. All right, Scrumbledumpling and Carcer. I'm gonna need some checks. I should point out, Father Marcellus had been drinking heavily, which he mentioned 3 journals ago. So his true feelings are starting to slip out. So I'm gonna need some checks to see if you survive this particular explosion. As the tank opens fire, what is your immediate reaction? Like, what's the thing you do? In the split second before the shell hits the vehicle.
Scrumbledumpling doesn't see it because Scrumbledumpling's on the passenger side. So Scrumbledumpling's just like riding along, having a good time. Like, it's just a chill, looking out the window like a little kid. When the car stops, the danger will happen. Right now, it's just a car ride.
Gotcha. Carcer?
Carcer Baldane tries to take evasive action, which is gunning it.
Okay.
In this instance.
Great. Okay, I think that's all I need to know.
It's coming in from the side, right?
Yeah. It was basically like you were shooting straight ahead, and then you kind of looked over your shoulder and stuck between 2 buildings as a tank.
Okay.
They can really only shoot at so many things as
It would be funny if I started gunning it into the oncoming.
Yeah.
Into the alley.
If I drive fast enough, then I'll hit the shell before the shell hits me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think I need any rolls then. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Carcer, go ahead and roll me a driving check, please, for evasive maneuvers of gunning it. I'm going to say this is a difficulty of 5. And I'm going to give you a boost because all of the goblins agree, and this is rare. They don't all normally agree on anything, but they're all just screaming in unison, which you take to mean that you're taking the right course of action. Story point wise, we are sitting, I believe, at... Oh, man, I thought this would be the day. I was wrong. Are we at 0 and 4 right now?
I think we're at 0 and 4.
I spent the last
really?
one to
You
put
spent
tires on this vehicle that's about to explode.
Okay.
We got
You're
none.
right. We did. Okay, well, I'll spend a story point. So we're at 1 and 3. Cool. Let's kick it.
We all would have died walking this half a block, so this is still worth it.
One threat. And that is all.
Pretty good. Now, the interesting thing here, though, is that the word success still wasn't said, so I don't think we can safely say that.
But neither was failure.
Just net out. Okay, great. So the car explodes. Attikus, you managed to get your shield up in time, and are thrown from the vehicle. But the vehicle itself does still act as a battering ram as it is, on fire and exploding. Scrumbledumpling, you are shredded by the blast. You were looking out the window, weren't paying any attention. What is your last completely unaware of pending doom words that you say before your little body is obliterated?
I wonder how much a seagull can eat.
And with that, and a flash of fire and shrapnel,
He's too pure.
you're torn apart.
Puree. Laura, puree.
I mean, the most embarrassing part is he gets hit by the explosion, and then because he was sitting on the far side of the vehicle, Attikus gets blown through his corpse. So he's just hit by an Attikus that is airborne a moment later.
And Carcer, so you're correct. You didn't succeed or fail. So the car's on fire. You're still holding on to the wheel. And I think what I'm going to need from you is let's go with I think coordination.
Okay.
to see if you can throw
That's
yourself out
agility?
of this. Yeah. Just see if you can throw yourself out of this vehicle successfully.
All right. What's my difficulty?
Difficulty of 4.
Okay.
You have a setback from the threat from before. I'm going to give you an additional setback because if you were to throw yourself from the vehicle, you would be abandoning your goblins.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
A real issue.
I would throw this out there, though. Knowing that Carcer is a driver and pilot, could perhaps Carcer use the drive skill to be able to bail out of a rolling vehicle?
I would, agree with that because it would be more about like moving myself in relation to the vehicle and understanding the physics of how the vehicle's moving.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
It changes from 2 green to 2 yellow. It's not exactly a game changer with the difficulty of the setback.
But it's something.
Good luck, boy. As you feel luck channeled your way as Atticus's back pulps Scrumbledumpling against the door that gets blown off the vehicle and Atticus gets free. Because he hit a tank shell into his fucking shield and just flew like a human bullet.
Tom, you'll learn this when you take the driving course. That everyone taking a driving lesson learns to tuck and roll as well out of the vehicle. It's just part of the vehicle mastery. It's
good to know.
It's a condition of getting your license.
See,
you have
and
to demonstrate.
It's a thing in 40K, like the Empire in Star Wars doesn't believe in handrails. Vehicles in 40K don't believe in seatbelts. That's right. It's a strong difference.
That's why everyone had to hold on. I'm going to roll.
With standard Imperial procedure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Interesting. 1 triumph, 2 failures, 1 threat.
That's not interesting. You're dead.
Look, you can both be correct, and you are. So, Carcer, you go to throw yourself from the vehicle, and there's just a glint off the dashboard, and you see, the blood of Scrumbledumpling has sprayed across all your goblins, and with the light coming through, it almost looks like they're crying because you're going to abandon them to their fate. And you realize that, you've been many things in your life, but the one thing you've never been is someone who abandons their friends in a time of need. And as a result, in a final moment of triumph, if you will, you decide rather than abandon these goblins to their fate and also just like roll out of the car and hope for the best, if you just keep your hands on the wheel, you can obliterate this barricade and smash through the front door of the governor's mansion. And so in a final act of heroism, you keep this flaming disaster car steady enough. You burst through the barricade. You can hear the songs of angry men being sung. Mm-hmm. You drive kind of like rapidly up a small, you crash through a gate, like a big ornate gate, up a small pathway with kind of like columns, like those colonnade trees, those like really pointy green trees, and towards the massive double doors. You manage to like up the stairs and just smash into that, the sort of through the reinforced front doors. And as you do so, the impact is so hard that it shatters the goblins who fly into your face, throat, and chest, and just shred you from the outside in. What is your final thought amidst your goblins?
Yeah, this was pretty heretical to have these here the whole time. I deserve this.
And then your head just slumps forward onto the horn, and it's just like, bah! And just like anyone stuck in traffic who thinks they can go faster somehow, the horn just runs.
And you just hear the voice of the milkmaid in your head saying, "Now we milk you," as your blood drips out.
She does love war. We did establish this. She is the bloodthirstiest of the goblins.
And you just hear little flute boy piping you on your way to the warp.
Somewhere a falcon is summoned. Yeah.
Say,
Soul is
Danny
eaten by
boy
chaos
for the
because
warp?
the Emperor won't protect you.
Hey, look, I mean, it's a little known fact about Irish wakes. They do tend to end in a warp horror, just showing up for the body. That's
God.
if you listen to the B-side of The Night That Paddy Murphy Died, that's what you get.
And the Irish do tend to be against foreign thrones, so it all checks out.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. So, Attikus, you've been thrown free of the car.
Thrown to safety.
Yeah, almost. It's just your plot armor is too strong. You've got some additional burns from it, but you kind of like staggered to your feet. You're so full of painkillers that you should feel it, and you will, but you didn't feel it just now. And as you wipe the Scrumbledumpling from your glasses, you see that the way to the governor's mansion is open. But you also see directly across from you, wedged between these two buildings, that fucking tank that just killed your friends. The man who gave you your arm and a driver you met like 5 minutes ago, but who is probably a pretty good dude. Do you go after the tank or do you immediately storm the mansion? I will say the tank is in such a position that it will make reinforcements difficult for a push against the mansion. But
so I thought I was thrown inside. Are we suggesting that I might come back outside to deal with the tank?
Sorry, in terms of the trajectory of this, as and I'm literally looking at a map, which is why I'm being lazy about this. Normally, I don't have one of these. As you were driving up the main towards the barricade, you drove past two buildings that had the tank wedged in it. Tank shot the car, blew the car up, knocked you out of the car, and then it smashed through the barricade and up into the building.
I'm not in the
so
car. So
you are just in front of the barricades. There's a nice big gaping burning hole there, so that's fine. You can make your way through there. But essentially, the same thing that happened to you could very easily happen to all of the Call of Duty NPCs who are going to be trying to rush up this central boulevard. Because even though this tank can't go anywhere, it can just take pot shots. In an incredibly obscure reference, it's just that one guy in The Mummy who just gets out of the main laneway and just shoots people as they run by. So if everyone were to try and run by this tank, they would run the risk of being mummy shot.
Okay, well, I will get on the radio that I believe I still have.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
And just say, Glorious Regos, advance! And I will run towards the tank to deal with it, and so that we don't our reinforcements will make their way up as I'm dealing with the tank.
Amazing. So as Attikus, you sprint across the way towards the tank, which is in the middle of like loading another shell. Again, it's not in a great position. As you do that, two guardsmen hear your call crackling across the radio. Ryan and Laura, who rushes up towards the barricade to hold it until Attikus can arrive?
Two-step, a scout specialist with a pistol and sword, who runs up to Attikus and just says, "If I'm not back in 5 minutes, wait longer." And he looks like Jim Carrey.
Jesus
so he's just
Christ.
holding the barricade and just starts firing into the palace, yelling, "Heretics can't stop me!"
Wow.
I think I had this model in my army, actually, back in the day. You know, he was a very famous character from the lore. All right, so we got Two-Step and
I'm going to have to work so hard not to join you in these quotes, dude. That's your guys' thing. It's not my thing. I can't do it, but I really want to.
Skyra Kane, demolitions expert, who's a
badass name.
Liev Schreiber kind of fella, who's survived all the explosions they've ever been in. So they basically jump through the fire of like the wreckage, because explosions never hurt them, man. And just grumbles, and it's totally unintelligible. But they're ready to do.
Explosions.
Nice.
They're ready to
chords
do.
are not great.
Like a 40K boomhauer.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool. Tom like that.
You dang old heresy.
Dang old Emperor man.
Not a horse, I don't trust, to walk up, heresy on you. You have to go Eye of Terror, man. 40k Boomhauer is very good. Okay, great. So we've got Skyra and Two Step. Cool. So Attikus, after several seasons, we finally got there. It's time for you to punch a tank. I know you've always wanted to, so here you go. And you're using your big boy stats.
Oh gosh. So, okay.
So let's go ahead with this. This is a difficulty. It's a close combat check. So it's a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
You get a boost for silhouette being very large.
Okay.
It's nice and easy for you to hit. I'm going to give you a disadvantage for having to dodge fire on your way up. But again, it is like tanks generally aren't great at shooting at one guy.
I'm also not dodging. I'm just holding up, unless it's firing massive shells at me. But if it's firing like
it's going to fire like the las
or whatever,
cannon off the front.
Okay. Because I was going to say I've got my armored door shield, but if it's not small arms fire, then I guess I'm trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say it's a combination of the two. Technically, this las cannon, I fucked up the rules from last time. It punches at like a much higher because it's like an ordnance version. So it like
all right.
It's real.
We'll say I'm trying
feisty.
to get out the way then.
Yeah, but I'm imagining it's like the Solid Snake get out the way thing, where it's literally you just like kind of stepping left or right as shit blows up around you, rather than like full
slipping between each shot.
Yeah, just kind of like duck running like you're slightly uncomfortable. Yeah, and then story point wise, we're sitting at 1 and 3. I'm going to spend a story point just because this is a big dramatic moment.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Okay, so we'll just sit here.
Yeah, if this is the moment Attikus Viz becomes Attikus Viz.
Yep.
Want to make it count.
I'm also going to give you a boost because Two Step is causing a distraction. He specifically joined you in this and is just like doing generally distracting things.
Okay.
His face is like rubber, and oh man, he does the comedy real good.
Yeah.
And scouting probably. I think that's it for me. Anyone else want to make a case?
Nah.
All right.
Punch the tank.
I've got breach 2, so I ignore 2 vehicle armor when I'm using this power fist, if that matters.
It literally does in this case and few others in this game so far.
Okay. All right. Well, I am ready to roll.
Go for it, sir.
Oh boy. Power fist. I missed you. 7 successes and 1 advantage.
Wow.
So what's the damage on your power fist there, sir?
Damage is 17.
So 24.
Yeah. Tyler, this is the moment when Attikus Fist becomes Attikus Fist. Tell me how you rip up this tank.
Yeah, I think getting thrown from the vehicle, the arm malfunctions a bit, but Attikus is of that singular mindset. It's the same attitude he had towards charging 2 axe-wielding berserkers when he had 1 hand and a sword. It's the same attitude of just, I am a weapon of the Emperor, and and my life is his to spend. If that's here now or later, then so be it. And so he's running with a malfunctioning arm dragging in the dirt and rubble behind him. But I think through just sheer luck, it kind of comes back online and becomes functional again as the loose fingers curl into a tight, angry fist, and it drags and carves up through the earth as he does a massive uppercut under the tank and flips it backwards.
Amazing. That is metal as hell. So you flip the tank back, it crumples, like a cheer goes up from the Regals, and people just start flooding towards the barrier, which is where you meet up with Skyra and Two Step as the three of you begin your push. So from where Carcer's armored car crashed through the front, there's now small arms fire pouring through that gap. People are kind of like, you can see there's like probably 4 very tightly packed rebels just shoving lasguns through and firing kind of wildly over the top. They're not really aiming so much, so I'm not going to roll attacks for them. It's more going to be like if your rolls fail, you might get pinged. But I'm curious, Two-Step and Skyra, what is and Attikus for that matter, I guess. How do you charge the mansion?
Two-Step, as a scout, is trying to find a way around this without having to charge up the suicide steps. Do you see, are there any windows or anything that could be smashed in?
So this is a large mansion, and it's very much it's overly fancy. So just you can imagine like a big fancy mansion. So you've got kind of the pointy trees leading up, small flight of stairs. You've got one of those big sort of like enclosed patios with the fucking columns. But beyond that, there are windows, certainly. And then you can see kind of like the White House is like a smaller White House, almost like you can see beyond it. There's like a large dining hall off to your right, with kind of like a lot of glass, like floor to ceiling glass windows. Off to your left, you can see a hardened sort of like concrete bunker that seems to be a security room. And then there's kind of the fancy ornate entranceway, but otherwise, yeah, there's windows, and then there's these other soft points. It's also 2 stories, so if you wanted to try and go up, you could also go up. But yeah, you certainly don't need to rush up the stairs. They built the barricade before the gate because they were trying not to damage this building. Mm-hmm. So now that you're past all that, you've got a lot of room to move aside from the flaming car that's jammed in the doors.
Two-Step will reach over and pat Skyra Rain's grenade launcher just gently and say, "Shoot a door, shoot a window, I don't care."
Wow. Which door?
He points at the one with all the people in it, or he points into the dining hall because shooting a grenade into the security thing sounds really ineffective.
Okay. And Skyra just lifts his their grenade launcher and just grenade launches.
Oh, yeah.
As in, launches a grenade into the dining room.
Oh, man, just like in every episode of that Liv Schreiber show that I can't remember the name of, where he's a
Liv Schreiber show. With Liv Schreiber.
Yeah. Liv show. Okay, so, and I'm sorry, Laura, are you firing at the door with the broken car and the people inside, or the dining hall?
The dining hall.
Dining hall. Okay, so you don't need to roll for that. There's no one in the dining hall. It's literally just you firing at an empty room. Grenade goes in, blasts out the windows, and leaves a nice big gap for our good friend Two-Step.
Great. Two-Step starts walking over, and it's just like 1, 2, stop. 1, 2, stop, because that's his whole thing with the 2 steps. And at the moment the grenade goes off, he looks back at Skyra. And he's like, "Smoking!" And then he goes up to the window and he looks into the dining hall and he looks back at the other 2 and just says, "Do not go in there."
Jesus Christ.
And then he just yells, "Let's rock this joint!" And he dives through the window in a combat pose, ready to just shoot anybody.
What I like is that all of those were actually contextually appropriate in
it's amazing.
A variety of ways.
You're really threading the needle on the appropriateness of these quotes.
Well, I mean, wait until we get to a nostalgic broken down theater inside the mansion. You can make all those majestic quotes that I know he's always wanted to do.
Inside the room, he sees a corpse in a tuxedo and he goes, "You must be the Monopoly guy."
Oh, man.
All right.
It's been in my head since you started it, and I just don't know when I'm going to get to say it. So I'm just going to say Space Ventura.
That one, it was good. It was good whenever you brought it, man. I think we all deserve nice things from time to time. Space Ventura. Jesus Christ. Okay. So Two-Step, you leap through the door, through the broken glass. Skyra and Attikus, would you follow two-step, or would you rush the main door?
Follow two-step.
Attikus would
I don't
go
see a
in-
reason to rush the main door. We have an opening here.
Yeah. Where the opening's been created, that's where Attikus would go as well. He's high on painkillers and probably a lot of synthetic adrenaline. He probably has in his system at this point as well. I'm sure from that first aid kit. So, yeah, he's just going where the action is. Yeah.
All right, so Skyra and Attikus, you kind of jump through the window after two-step, and you find yourselves in, truly, it is a smoking dining room that's been kind of blasted out. Big long table in the center that's been obliterated by the grenade. Windows have been shattered. Through the central doors, you can see into kind of the main entry hall. It's a large rectangular room that you can't see too much of because it is 2 stories. But you can see there again those 4 rebels like packed around the car, and then there's more that have like taken up kind of positions on either side. You can see there's 2 curved staircases that you can kind of just barely see from this angle, as well as what seems to be sort of a central fountain with a large statue in the center of it. But again, you're in like a dining hall, so you're just seeing it through a pair of double doors. So there's like a lot of shit out there that you can't currently see, but that's what you're looking at. They haven't really turned this way, even though you blew a bunch of shit up, because there's just explosions happening everywhere. So they're all doing that classic like get ready for the doors to breach piece.
Right.
So they're currently unaware of the 3 of you.
And sorry, these are enemy?
Yeah, the rebellious governor's traitorous troops.
Oh, baby.
Baddies.
I got a grenade launcher. Let's just...
Yep, Attikus was going to say.
It
he was
is
just gonna
primed
point-
and ready to go. So
Attikus is going to point to Skyra, yeah.
walks
Do it.
up suddenly with a cigar and a lit cigar in their mouth. I got this. And... Boo!
You really gotta check your gut if that's the noise it makes.
That's I don't know if you noticed. That's what all guns make.
Honestly, I've never
According to-
fired a grenade launcher, so I mean, probably.
It's more like a.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it's Baboo.
I think it's Baboo.
That's what I've seen in all the movies.
Yeah. War documentaries.
I'm trying to combine the sounds. So it's just like,
Goldeneye.
"Boo-boo." There's a little bit of it from both.
All right, so Laura, this is a ranged attack.
Sweet.
I'm gonna say difficulty 3 because you're not close, but you're also like launching a grenade. So
And I have the time. Like I've caught them. Like they're not.
100%. You had
they're
time
not
to light a
moving.
cigar. You've definitely got time to do this. Also, I'm remembering that old adage about and hand grenades. So like it's fine. Close
Yeah.
enough is just fine. So go with that. I'm going to give you a boost because you have time to aim.
Cool. Love it.
I was going to say, while Skyra's doing this, two-step is getting into cover and shoving Attikus into cover. So we're not just standing behind the smoking, insane being with the grenade launcher.
Suppose that's fair. Attikus, you going along for that ride?
I guess so. Yeah, sure. I was going to stand there with the shield again, but I'll go into cover.
Okay. I think that's all the boosts and setbacks that we've got. I am going to spend a story point to jack this up a bit because I gotta keep my beloved rebels safe. You know, they have such deep backstories of people you need to defeat, and I just got to keep that going.
All right.
Which will bring us to 2 and 2.
It's like the most we've ever had.
Grenade launcher.
Oh,
What
yeah.
kind of grenades is this firing? I guess it doesn't matter until I've. No.
If we're talking traditional grenade launcher, it would be frag or crack. Frag are your traditional anti-personnel grenades. Crack would be the kind that you would try to hit a tank with. So odds are you're firing frag grenades for the big
Yeah.
That would be my assumption.
That's
nastiness.
fair.
Guard
Okay.
standard.
Do I have a story point? I'm not
We
going
have
You
two.
do, yep.
We just said.
Got 2.
Okay. Yeah, I will use one then.
Okay.
Fuck it, man.
Yeah, fuck
Do
it.
this.
What would Liv Schreiber do?
All right.
Get mad and get soft fired off your own show.
Get mad and
Rolling.
fuck it.
Hey, baby! 1 success, 3 advantages, 1 triumph.
Oh, all right. Laura, describe what happens when this grenade hits those 4 rebels.
Oh, man. Oh, dude. It's just... There's a whole lot that happens mechanically because I rolled so fucking well, but that doesn't matter because all that's left is a sphere of bloodstains surrounding
You never
where
get
they
that out of
once
the
were.
walls. Incidentally, though, very popular 40K decorating choice, so pretty good. I'll also say, Laura, because of the Triumph, the blast is strong enough that it actually blasts the car backward. It kind of like creaks and rolls down the stairs, leaving the entryway fully open for the invasion. So now that the battering ram is through, Imperial Glorious Regals begin to kind of pour through and start to open fire.
And Two-Step looks to Attikus and just says, "That was a close one, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, in every contest, there must be a loser. Who is her?"
And Atticus just like not knowing what to do with that read. Just like, oh man, PTSD has really hit this guy hard. Just he'll get up to his feet and say, "They're not all losers yet, mate. We got a job to finish."
"That's why it's chargy time. CHRGY, because I gotta." And he draws his pistol and his sword and just charges forward through the gap.
CHRGY.
And it's with that battle cry that you hear another "Poo-poo," and a grenade blasts Two-Step apart.
No.
His top half lands next to you, and he just says, "Look, Ma, I'm roadkill. Ha ha." And then he is gone.
Truly, PTSD did do a number on him. As Attikus and Skyra, you move up away from the half of Two-Step. 1 step, as he is now known, toward the entrance.
No
you see the
step.
room open up.
Yeah.
And there's just a hail of bolter fire coming from the second floor. And as you come in, you see again like a large 2-story room with 2 kind of winding staircases. There's a big fountain with a giant sculpture of Acton 4, the hand around it that says "The world is yours" in big neon letters. And at the top of this staircase, just kind of like peeking out of an office, face just covered in white dust. You see the governor holding his bolter, and he just says, "You cockroaches want to play tough? Okay, I'm ready." And then he launches another grenade, blowing away a number of Regals who have made their way through. But one manages to survive this small blast as the governor and his remaining troops make their last stand from the second floor. Ryan, who survived the blast to join our merry band?
This is the medic, Tremurthus Dis, who looks like Drew Carey in just an ill-fitting Imperial Guard uniform. And he dives into cover, and he just looks over at Attikus and says, "This is the Imperial Guard, where they don't know if you win and your lives don't matter."
God, so we've made a choice for the last few troopers. I understand. Okay.
Incidentally, having played Imperial Guard Army, points don't matter there either. They really don't. Okay, so Ryan, what was that name?
Tremurthus Dis.
So Tremurthus, Skyra, and Attikus, the 3 of you are on the bottom floor. There are guards kind of up the stairs, and then there is the governor at the top. He's firing his bolter down like pretty much on like in bursts, and slowly edging back into his office. Where he's going to kind of make his last stand. So to get to him, you're going to have to go through these guards. I'm curious what your plan of attack is.
Yeah, Atticus would point to the rebels on the stairs and say, "Skyra, grenade."
I got it.
All right.
He's literally like the fucking lamest person up close. and like the coolest person.
He's doing
like,
tremendous work
from a distance, you know?
Yeah.
Tremerthus, what are you?
Cowering, hidden at bottom of stairs, just using the banister as the only piece of cover that's available, laying on his back, leaning against it, with his last gun just aimed over his shoulder where he is not looking, just on full auto hosing just the stairs.
So just like an old video game where you'd lock on, but they hadn't quite figured out what to do, so you just arbitrarily run away, shoulder firing, that kind of situation.
Yep.
The old siphon filter special, great, love it. Okay, so let's go ahead with some attacks. Skyra, we'll start with you.
Cool.
So range band is small on this one, so we're going to say difficulty 2. You're firing another frag grenade. Yeah, I think I'm going to give you a setback on this because there's live fire around you.
Yeah, that's
this
fair.
isn't this cool situation, despite how they seem like a very chill person, so I feel like they're not, they're not flappable particularly, but it is still another thing when people are actively shooting at you.
This sorry, you say it's a short? This is like close?
Well, I mean, you're firing up a staircase from close to a
okay.
staircase, so yeah, it's short-ish.
Okay.
And then would there be another setback if all the guards are wearing the traditional Imperial Guard body armor? Or does that not apply?
These are PDF troops that turned, so they are not in
no flak armor
guard.
for those dickheads.
Yeah, they're basically just wearing like fancy, thick padded jackets.
All right.
Go
All
for it.
right. I don't think I can argue for anything. Like Skyra's standing in the open, like
Yeah, they've made their choice.
looking cool. So I'm just gonna fucking roll. Interesting. 1 success, 1 threat.
And what's the? Well, actually, I have it right here. The damage on a frag. Oh
10.
dear God. Okay. Well, the troops on the stairs are obliterated, but I'm going to go ahead and say with that 1 threat, so are the stairs. So you managed to kill the most immediate threats to you, but you also blow out the staircase. So your 2 ways up are the other staircase, or you can try and climb the statue.
Yeah, I was going to say with the staircase being obliterated, can Attikus linebacker charge this statue and tip it over so it becomes more of a ramp to have everyone amble up?
Let's go for that. Let's
like
go
it.
athletics and brawn, sir.
Sure.
I'm going to say, honestly, difficulty of probably 1. You're charging with a power fist at something that was kind of top heavy to begin with. Like it's a global.
But I saw your description. I was like, okay, we can use this.
Yeah, 100%. I'll give you the standard setback for live fire. Actually, no. You know what? I think we can say that Skyra's grenade kind of cleared the space out a little bit. And of course, Tremerthus's awesome over-the-shoulder blind fire. I don't want to leave anyone out.
Of course.
So, yeah, Attikus, go ahead and roll with that, please. Unless you want to use story points, which you could. You have 1.
I'm good like this.
Yeah, all right.
4 successes, 2 advantages, 1 triumph. Good Lord.
Like, it's a ramp, but also there's stairs. There's a chairlift.
It's an
managed to make it
escalator, yeah.
accessible. Yeah, there's like an elevator. Yeah, so you crack it. It falls over. The world is yours letters shatter as they hit. And then you just give it another tap for good measure to really kind of wedge it in there, successfully creating a ramp up.
I'm immediately trying to climb up and I'm shouting, Glorious Ragos, advance!
Skyra, I imagine you're advancing, but Tremerthus, how about you?
Yeah, Tremerthus will grab 2 frag grenades off of corpses and then follow Attikus up the statue.
Great. So you charge up the statue to find 2 guards. Like immediately your shield starts getting pummeled with fire, Attikus, as the 2 guards who are positioned outside the office start just like pouring fire down at you. You can tell that the governor has closed the door and retreated back inside his office. But as long as you've got your shield up, I think we're going to say that you're able to kind of withstand the fire for now, which means it's up to Skyra and Tremerthus. It's probably too close for your launcher, Skyra. I would say if you were to eyeball it. Admittedly, though, you have survived every explosion. Every single one.
It's only one, but it's all of them.
I mean, still, surviving one explosion is still pretty fucking good.
Yep.
Still very impressive. All right, Tremerthus, what are you doing?
Does it look like if he throws a grenade at these idiots, it'll take him and Attikus out?
I mean, it's close. I think if you were to throw so I feel like if you're launching a grenade from a grenade launcher, that's probably a more, well, I don't know, actually.
They'd probably be less precise than like underhanding it along the floor where you kind of know where to land. Or at least he thinks
then it's
that
just
because
like lawn
that's
bowling.
what Tremerthus is doing. So
Right,
he just
do it up.
He reaches down and just does it underneath between Atticus's legs and under his shield. And he's just like, well, hopefully luck's with us. Otherwise, it's going to be real funny for a real short period of time. And yeah, he'll roll the grenade. So what do you want me to roll, Tom?
I think we're going to go with ranged light.
Okay.
I'm going to say difficulty of 2.
Okay.
I'm going to spend a story point to upgrade 1 because you're in danger close. I'm going to give you a boost because you're able to hide behind Attikus to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And another boost because these two clowns are fairly tight together because they have to be. Yeah.
Cool. And I think I've got a story point, so I will use that.
Okay.
Because I think they're closing in on the end of their mission. So he's feeling lucky. And this feels like a good setup. They got like a shield already facing it. This statue's way more stable than it has any right to be. 2 successes, 1 triumph, 1 threat.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So the grenade goes off and just like obliterates these 2 clowns. The fire from the grenade like washes up and over Atticus's shield. Tremerthus, you're between his legs, so you're good. Like you're directly in the sort of shielded area. Unfortunately, Skyra, you're not. You're a step behind.
It makes sense because Skyra was way too busy like looking cool doing parkour up the broken staircase.
Wow.
Totally get that.
Parkour.
And I will say, it's important for you to know that the explosion isn't what kills you.
Oh, that's nice.
It's the fall caused by you dodging the explosion. You land badly, and with a sickening crack, the world begins to fade. Skyra, what are your dying words off of the single threat that killed you off of Tremerthus's
baby,
grenade
there's
roll?
no words. Inside is just blank. It's just always blank. There's nothing going on in there.
As the world ends for Skyra, just one last solid drag off the cigar, pulling it to like halfway, and then the ash falls as your consciousness slips away. Luckily, there's always more Imperial Guard where that came from. Tremerthus said it right. The points don't matter. So as Attikus and Tremerthus begin their final push towards the doors, Laura, who rushes up the broken statue behind them?
Vorti Kalathov. Yet another demolitions expert.
I think we're going to say they weren't until they picked up the gun off Skyra. Like, I can do this.
Oh my god.
No, Vorti has a flamer.
Oh, my mistake.
And oh my gosh, a demo charge. So they have
a demo charge built into
their fist.
arm.
It's a bionic arm specifically created for use in demolition work.
Okay, and what does Vorti look like? Who would play them in a movie?
We're gonna go with it's gonna be Jason Momoa.
Yeah, all right, I like that. So, Vorti, you stride confidently past Attikus and Tremerthus, and honestly, like you were literally built for this. There is a door.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reinforced door with an asshole behind it who wants to kill you all. So you've got the breach charge ready. The question I think for Attikus and Tremerthus is what's like in classic slow motion first person shooter fashion. Once Vorti blows the door, what do you do?
I think Attikus is breathing heavily and sweating profusely as I think he's just burning through these meds. And he looks over to Tremerthus.
He doesn't know his
excuse
name.
me.
Tremerthus just walked up. His name tag just says Dis.
Yeah, but I want to get his name right, though.
No, but his name
Tremerthus.
tag says Dis because that'd be
Dis,
what's
okay.
on what's visible on his uniform.
Right.
Just be the last name.
He's a medic, right, Ryan?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So Attikus would look over, clearly in rough shape, and he would say, "Hey, Doc, I didn't start my day with this." And he points to his power fist and his robotic arm. And he would say, "You think you've got anything that could give me a little bit of a jump start for this last push, eh?"
Yeah, I mean, normally I like to make the patients laugh because it goes a long way. But instead, how about I just pump you full of slot? And he'll just take out a combat drug and just fucking jam it into Atticus's neck, shoot it off, and just pump him full of like an absolute rage-filled fucking cocktail of like meth, several things that just trigger the red haze.
Sweet.
Yeah, I
I'm
want to turn him into a
imagining like
monster person.
crank vision.
100%.
So everything is like pulsating. The camera's moving in weird ways.
Yeah. As Attikus like begins to foam at the mouth and his pupils are like dilated, he just says one word through like gnashed teeth that he cannot pull apart. He can't open his mouth. He just says, "Breach."
Vorti, what do you say before you breach the door?
Vorti holds out his bionic arm with like the fist to get like pound Attikus.
No,
And
Attikus
then-
looks at you
And
like...
then he pulls it back anyways because that would have made it explode. He's like, "I'm kidding, man." And then he just turns towards the door and flying jumps.
Oh, Superman
Like
punches
flying
the door?
jump.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. A jump punch is what I mean.
Nice.
Flying punch.
The old
flying
Roman
punch.
Reigns Superman punch. Superman punch. That's a Superman punch. It's not.
I mean,
a
that's
thing. Don't make
perfect
it a
because he almost looks like Jason Momoa. So
Yeah,
it looks
exactly.
like him.
Yeah.
Walmart Jason Momoa. Okay, amazing. So you Superman punch the door. The door blasts open and inward. And Vorti, I'm gonna need a. Let's go with. I think it's gonna be coordination. So agility and coordination.
All right.
So
Lovely
as soon as
two
you
green.
breach the door, bolter rounds just come flying at you, and need to see if you manage to Michael Bay Transformers your way past bullets, where somehow every part of your body gets out of the way because you physically can't.
I would like to give myself a boost because there's an explosion, and so there's like smoke and haze and fire.
Totally.
So they
Yep, I
wouldn't
buy
have
that.
a clear.
I'm going to say this is a difficulty of 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a setback because in your dodging, you're also trying to make sure that nothing on your flamer gets hit, because that would be a very short life.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a boost for just being cool. Cool guys don't die this way.
Hell yeah.
That's not how cool guys go down. You got to go become the king of the seas or whatever. And I think that's it from me.
That
and fuck it,
sounds
I'll spend a
good.
story point.
Okay. Oh.
Do it.
All right. I'm just gonna roll.
Do it.
Wash. Nothing happens.
All right.
Everyone's friends.
You manage that Michael Bay move. You just kind of weirdly twist and contort. Nothing bad happens to you. You hit the ground and slide forward, and Attikus and possibly Tremerthus, you rush through the gap. Tremerthus, would you be going in, or are you like?
Oh yeah,
cover-
Tremerthus is going in, baby. This is his job.
All right. Attikus, the governor is behind a big. This is like kind of like a Mr. Burns office, or if you're looking for a different point of reference, a little bit, but like not quite, but a little bit like Al Pacino's office at the end of Scarface. It's completely unrelated to the scenario we're in, but like maybe like there's a bunch of screens, there's a bunch of mysterious white powder. His sister is dead nearby, like all sorts of weird stuff. So you come rushing in. He's behind a desk. Tremirthus and Attikus, what do you do?
Attikus is a mad dog at this point and is just like the most direct route across the room to crush and kill this rogue governor.
Yeah, Tremirthus is just trying to keep the governor from shooting Attikus, so he's got his last pistol out, and he's just hosing last pistol fire at, like, suppression more than anything else. He's not good enough to be able to do anything else anyways.
Great. And then, Vorti, I think what we'll say for you is from the ground, you do kind of that, like, Max Payne leaping jump thing where you land on your back, you pull the flamethrower around while still lying on the ground, and you just keep, like, hosing fire through the door to keep the rest of the guards out. To buy Attikus time. So Attikus, we're going to say difficulty 2. You get a boost from Tremirthus's covering fire. You get a boost from the combat drugs. I'm going to give you a setback for that table that you have to knock aside. It's not that hard to do, but it's one thing between you and him. He is wearing a flak jacket, so that'll be another setback. And I'm going to use a story point because he's the big boss and he's, got to last for all he can. That said, you do have a story point available if you want it.
I'm going to use the story point.
Yep.
This is the end of the mission. This is what we came here for. Attikus knows that. And also he's just absolutely fueled by organic and now drug-assisted rage.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready to roll.
Go for it.
That's like the magic number tonight now that we're back on this character sheet. 7 successes and 2 advantages.
Fuck.
All right. As he yells, no, this world is mine. What do you do?
I think because Attikus is a tough guy, the power fist wraps around the guy's body, pinning his arms to his chest and probably crushing him and his ribs a little bit. Mm. But what finishes him off is Atticus's natural hand just wailing into his skull, unimpeded by, he can't do anything about it. He's just punching until his arm is too tired to be lifted. And just screaming, "For the Emperor!"
And just like slowly but surely, your glasses get sprayed with enough gore that they just the world around you becomes red. And honestly, Attikus, that's the last thing you remember from Acton 4.
Yep. Tremirthus steps over and looks over your shoulder and says, "One heretic dead at the cost of thousands of loyal guardsmen. What can I say? The price is right."
Back aboard the ship, there's a celebratory tone, to be sure. A lot of good troopers went down, but by the same token, the mission was accomplished. The price was indeed right, and generally speaking, this is going to be a pretty big mark of success for the Glorious Regals. Flavius Septimus is incredibly excited. He's had his eye on a title that he is convinced exists of Sergeant Commander. It's not a real title, but he's pretty convinced it is, and he thinks this gets him one step further. He's been on the comms channels just all day, every day, being like, "I am so proud of what we managed to do. I was down there with you. If you just looked around, you knew I was there. I had your backs and you had mine. We're so glorious. We're so regal. And for the glory of the Emperor, ours is indeed on impeccable might. Now get some rest. We got a big case ahead of us. Heading to a planet called Vicodin. We're going to help them make some of that good booze." And Attikus, it takes you a few days to recover. from all of your trials and tribulations. You're happy to see that Gareth Scarhouse made it through as well. He's a little rough for wear, but he makes sure to swing by. And you're also visited by Sergeant Pratik, who lost an eye in the battle, but otherwise is like, you can tell he's a bit haunted by how many troops died in the battles. But he comes over, and Tremurthus has been taking like good care of you medically. He's been keeping an eye on you, and Vorti has been kind of nearby as well. I think, Vorti, you're having a bit of an existential crisis because you've had that demo charge in your hand for so long, waiting for that. Like, this is your like Jack Sparrow's single bullet thing. And it's like, now that you've used it, you just have like a weird, shitty, blown up robot hand. But you know, you got to flying punch a door open. It's really the dream.
Honestly, he'll talk about it forever.
And Pratik comes over and says, Trooper Viss, that was a hell of a thing you did for your fellow Regals, but also for the Emperor. I wasn't too sure about that squad going in, and I know it won't be the same without, you know, Moose Mouse and the rest, but I think we did a hell of a thing today. How are you feeling?
Ready to kill and die for the Emperor anytime, sir.
Good man. Well, listen, this next posting, it's a big one. It's an important one, and I'm going to make sure that the right people know what you did here and know that you're something special, I think, Trooper. And besides, and he like, you know, kind of taps your arm, and he's like, you got the arm to prove it. Attikus, you have a final moment with Tremurthus and Vorti. You're all from different squads, so it's not like you're, you know, going to see much of each other beyond this. Do the three of you have any kind of last words or sentiments you want to share with each other?
Vorti, very much like Jason Momoa's character in Stargate Atlantis, just says like, all right, later, turns and walks away.
I
He
like
doesn't know
him.
these people.
Like you too. I like any one of the Emperor's troopers who knows how to do their fucking job, and you both did it to a goddamn T.
Ah, thanks.
Vorti waves
thanks.
his hand as he's walking away, acknowledging.
So I heard a joke that you might like for this next campaign. What do you call a dead orc?
I don't know. What do you call a dead orc?
A good job.
Oh, I like you a lot.
Sometime
Yeah,
later,
it was beautiful.
the glorious Regals have made planetfall on Vicodin, and so slowly but surely the heroes of Acton 4 reintegrated into other units, and the war against the orcs began in full for the Regals. Pratik made sure that everyone knew that there were some true heroes amongst the group, that there was Attikus Viss, Tremurthus Dis, Vorti, Kalathov, and the people in charge listened, and they made sure to keep note of each and every name. He said was an exemplary soldier, someone who really stood out, really understood things, really paid attention and got the job done. And right after they shot him in the head, they took a good long look at that list and started coming up with a variety of accidents that one by one would take anyone who might notice that this campaign wasn't quite what it seemed off the map. And they figured, well, I mean, we can start at the top and work our way down. Alphabetically, of course, that meant the last name was Viss. Right above him, Gareth Scarhouse, soon to be hanged for crimes against the Imperium. But luckily, Attikus would find a new cause and a new unit soon thereafter. And he'd bring his new power fist along for the ride. So Father Marcellus looks down at his journal, dusts his hands, and says, well, I think that was at least 20% accurate. Good enough for Imperium work. And humming Imperium Paradise, he folds up the report and takes it to Inquisitor Valentyne, who likely will never read it.
This episode of the Valentyne Heresy features Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter as Inquisitor Lucius Valentyne, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter as Attikus Viz, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter as Eli Sharp, Del Borovic at Deltastic on Twitter as Morgan Rawls, and our Game Master Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the Valentyne Heresy's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com, DELBOROVIC. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ads use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. We have merchandise available at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, and most importantly, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Ave Imperator, and death to all the heretics.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Roman Brown, Spot Allen, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG, it's Big Nick, D&D and Things, Norma Byers, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Flea Unit, Madre de Gatos, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.